Hello and welcome back to yet another video in my Ultimate Grand Strategy tutorial series. Today we will handle the subject of province selection. So when we select a province on the map, it will actually give you some visual feedback to what province we are selecting. And now I have promised this one before, but today it's really going to happen. We are also going to add some more map modes. So we are not just only having this political map mode that we have now that shows the countries, but also some additional map modes. From last time, I have added a few more countries, as you can see, but I have not done anything special, only on the country importer, added a few more countries, and then assigned them to the states in the state importer file right there. And this is done just to create some more interesting visuals. So yeah, and if you are new to this series and want to get to the state that we are in right now, then I will have the link to the earlier videos in the description. So just click them and follow along. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. We are starting off by doing some light refactoring. So let's go to our map scene and to our map script. And what we're going to do is to just separate the function that sets the map mode and create its own function for it. So set map. Political. And then we just take these values right here out of the color map function. Yeah, let's take out this one as well. And declare it at the start of our script. Is the texture image or image texture? Yeah. Okay, and then we just set the map mode as a part of our ready function. Let's do a test and check that everything works. And it does. Wonderful. Now let's go back to our main script, to our province select function, the one that triggers when we click or select a province. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a reference to our map. We need to find up some function name to trigger. So highlight province. And we want to pass it the selected province. Like so. Then we need to go on our map script and create that function. So let's just put a pause in it for now, because we need to do some changes to what we already have. Okay, so let's change a bit on the set map mode. So what we want to do is to utilize this current map mode variable. So current map modes equals the color map political. And then we want to have this one in a separate function. Let's take map shader, because that is what these two actually does. And instead of feeding it the map mode political, we want to feed it the current map mode. That way we can actually update the map shader after this one. So those should be good. Now we need a function to update the color map, just to, not to recreate the whole color map, but just a few provinces that we need for our selection. So let's create a func update color map. I think actually we can reuse some of the code we have. Let's see. Make it more generalized. Let's call this. Okay, we need some colors. Input color. And that's the one that we are going to check against our dictionary. Then we need the color that we are actually going to show on the map. And we need the offset, because we have 3 separate areas in our color map. So first one was the primary color, the second was the secondary color, and the third part is going to be used for the map selection. So we're going to set pixels in our political map, but not plus. We want to plus the offsets. And we want to put the output color like so. Yeah, we also need to actually do it for the current map mode. That's fine. Good. So what we now need to do when we highlight the province is to call that function first. And then we need to update the map shader. So we want to know that the input color is select province.color. And the output color, it can be whatever we want, but let's put it as green, for example. And the offset is 200, because that is the part for the map selection. And now we also need to adjust our shader so it can use this value. So if you go to our shader, we are going to change our map to the shader. So let's add a new texture. So new vector 4. Call it selected color. Let's just copy the map mode secondary. Change up a bit because it's still the color map image. Only thing we need to do is to adjust the offset by 2. So multiply that one with 2 because it's the same input file as you remember. And then we need to adjust our output color. So I just reuse the final color. So we mix what we have with select color. And we only want to do it where it's not black because the areas that we have not selected are black in that image file. Okay, let's save and see how this works. So as you can see now when I select a province, it gets colored in green. So that's one step forward. It still doesn't remove the previous selections, so that will be the next step on the list. Now it's more of a coloring game, but you can see that clearly something here is happening. So that's great. Also, I want to have the texture mixed in last, so it doesn't like get a complete green like this, but have some of the texture showing through, like with the other map modes. So let's just move this one to the end. Do another test. Yeah, now it looks like I want. So let's go ahead and try to fix this issue that it does not remove the old selections. Back in our map script, we need to create a new variable so we can store whatever provinces that we have selected. Let's call it like previously selected. Now I want to make this type of packed color array. So I know what you're thinking. Why an array when it's only one value? The reason is simple, like just in case you want to expand with more selections, like selecting the whole state, for example, it's good to have an array for it. It's not a function, obviously. Yes. Okay, but let's actually create a function for it. So deselect provinces. So we want to now loop through the variable that we just made. Now we want to use the same methodology as we do when we select. So just copy this guy, but instead of making it green, we want to make it black, because as you know, when it's black, it doesn't get picked up. Like so. And after this is done, we want to clear the array, so it doesn't get larger and larger as we play, and we'll slow everything down. So let's take the array and just clear it. Now we want to trigger this function before we color the new one. And by the end, we need to append the province that we just selected. Okay, now let's do another test. And voila, works exactly as expected. Perfect. Since we are on a roll, let's continue our functionality with the states as well. So let's find our highlight province function. And then after our deselect, let's do a check to see whether or not our selected province is a land or not. And the reason is that only land provinces are a part of a state. So of course we don't want to access that for ocean provinces. Equals land. Then we do a for loop through all the provinces. So we'll get the state by get parent. So this is a bit messy and you might want to split this one up, but it's up to you. And then get the children again. So let's do an update color on these provinces. However, we want another color, so the one that we select is green, and let's then make the rest of the state white, for example. And we need to append them to our previously selected. Good, that should do it. In addition, since we are now calling all the provinces of the state, it might be a misalignment between what's in the file and what's in the actual map. So in order to counter that, we need some extra security. So let's go to our update color map function, this one, and change the logic a little bit. So instead of looking directly up the key, we want to use the get function. And if you can't, it will return null. Then we check whether or not this is true. Let's put the rest of our code inside that, like so. Good, good. Let's do another test. So as you can see now, in addition to our province being selected green, the rest of the state that it belongs to is now selected white. And it also removes itself when I click somewhere else. With the country selection now in place, let's go ahead and create another map mode. So I want to now create a map mode based on the country's ideology. So if we go to our country template, like so, we see that we have the ideology in a string. Now I think about it, that's probably not the best way to do it. So probably an enum or something like that. But for now, we will play with what we have. So I need to create another one, ideology color. Like so. And then we want it so that when this variable is set or changed or anyway altered, it will affect our color variable. So let's create a set for it. So here is the basic one. So it just means that we overwrite our current variable with the new value. But in addition, we also want to change this one. So let's have a match. So now it will check whether or not this value is democratic or communist, which is the two values that we set in our country importer. Of course, you can have other values here as well, other ideologies, it's up to you. So now, if that value is democratic, it will change this color to blue. So let's do the same with communist. Good, and let's save this one. It should be okay now. So then go back to our map script, and we need to create a new image for our new map mode. Mode. I can take ideology. Then we need to go back to our create color map, and here we need to include our new map mode. So I think basically we can copy these lines. Let's just copy ideology. And now we don't want these colors. Actually, yeah. Okay. Let's do it like that so you can separate a bit. So have owner ideology color or something like that. And we call this one ideology color, yeah. So okay, now the creation should be fine. We also need to change our update function to include our new map mode. Like so. Yeah, we need a function for it. Set map mode. Now this should be it. So we can actually test this one before we create a UI for it. So instead of setting map mode political, we now set ideology. Let's play. And voila. So now we see that the democratic countries are blue and the communist ones are red. As you noticed, because of our groundwork with the first map mode, we didn't even have to do any changes in the shader at all, because it always operates with the current map mode. So just following this, you can create almost as many map modes as you want. Okay, let's get it back. Save. Then go ahead and let's create a new UI. New scene. I want this to be a canvas layer. Let's call it map modes. Okay, and then we need one panel container. Let's anchor it to the bottom right, something like that. Yeah. And let's add a grid. And some buttons. This one political, this one just fit it to your size, like that. Okay, let's add a script for it, of course. Yeah. Then bottom up. Okay, actually, let's recreate this one. Let's give them some proper names so we don't confuse ourselves later on. That's the button political. This is the button ideology. Okay. So what we want to do is that when a button is pressed, we need to send a signal to our map. So let's go ahead and create one. And we need to pass through the selected mode, like so. And since we're talking about enums, let's use one now to get some more security. So enum like that. And if the political button is pressed, we want to emit the map mode political. And if this one is pressed, we want to emit ideology. Okay, let's save. Go ahead in our main scene. We need to add our new map mode. Save this one too. So we get the buttons, and now the signal right here, we need to connect. Let's connect it to our map. Yeah. So we pass through the mode, good. And then we need to match this. Okay, let's copy over the enum. So, okay, and replace the passes with our set map mode functions. If ideology, we want to set this one. Okay, now everything should be in place. So the logic is correct, things will work. And it does. Perfect. So now to recap, since this is the end of the video, what we have accomplished in this one is map selection. So the province selected will now highlight in green. The rest of the state where it resides is highlighted in white. In addition, we have also added the functionality of adding and changing map modes. So now we can change between the ideology map mode and the political map mode. So if you want to see where this series is heading, because it's going forward, this is not the end, please like and subscribe and follow my journey. Thank you.